Now, what about you had 3 or 4 different types of anger. Sneaky anger. You're angry, but you don't want the other person to know what you do. Little sneaky things.
Yes.
Get them mad.
Yeah.
Okay. Sneaky anger is probably.
That's my ex-wife.
Is that a female?
Can we talk about personal?
A lot of people think it's female, but the fact of the matter is a lot of males do the same thing. That sneaky anger is when I'm, mad at you, but I don't want you to know I'm mad at you. And the key element is I want to get you back, the revenge factor. You can do that through a whole lot of different ways. If you're dealing with someone that's a control person, basically, you don't just buck them, but you can do little things on the side, like you can forget to do something. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that. But in reality, you did it on purpose. Another kind of way that sneaky anger that a lot of people show, is just even a mild form, is sarcasm. If I'm always, I'll hush my puppies again. Yeah. And what the sarcasm is that I can be mad at you, so I start talking about you, and then if you don't like what I'm saying, you can't take a joke. But the reality is I want to laugh at you, and I want people to laugh at you, not with you. So a lot of times people use sarcasm because they think it's going to go over somebody's head or whatever, and that's their way of showing anger.
Okay, you got to giving up responsibility. It's all the other person's fault all the time.
Blame game.
Right, the blame game. As long as you're blaming the other person that's doing that and you're acting like you're just a puppet and you just react to whatever it says, you can never fix it. Because what it's saying is somebody always controls you. You don't control your own self.
In one of your classes, Frank, before you find some more notes.
Oh yeah, I got plenty.
you were talking about how, say someone's married for 10 years and you're in an abusive relationship. That abuser always comes back and apologizes. Well, you use the illustration of, well, every time that happens, you're throwing a pebble or a rock. Eventually that wall is going to build. And no matter what you do, even though you change today, you can't get through that wall.
Right. Well, see, that's also one of the principles in domestic violence, is this, that you have what you call the honeymoon period, and then everything is going good, then the build-up stage happens, and then they blow up, and then all of a sudden after they blow up, it's an immediate, oh, I'm so sorry for doing this, but it's cyclic, and that person really has never learned to change. Now, see, domestic violence, everyone thinks of that in just terms of pushing and shoving. Well, that's what can get you arrested. But there is, the emotional abuse, the psychological abuse, and the verbal abuse. Those are all components of it also. So a person that's doing all these things and builds up, then they let go, and then they say, okay, I'm sorry for doing that, and I'll get better. But they keep following that cycle. Every time that they do that, if I'm the person that's being done to, eventually I do one of two things. Either I tear down your self-esteem, or I put you in a position where now anything that you say is virtually, I'm not going to listen to it or whatever. A lot of people stay in those situations only because they don't have any other options and because they have been beat down and things. And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
So
but the abuser it's a horrible cycle.
All right, we don't have a few minutes left here. I want to talk about some other things. But now you also do in relationships, you say the day a man doesn't invest time in his wife is the day he starts having trouble, because it is not an arrangement. A marriage is not.
All right. There's two different things. There's arrangements and then there's relationships. Okay, first of all, a relationship is supposed to bring out the best in you. And the second thing is, in that relationships you have compromise, and the most important thing being communication. And communication is not just about you hearing what I have to say. It's about listening and being able to listen without automatically trying to interrupt you, finish your sentences for you, or wait till you stop breathing before I start talking again.
All right, is this true or false? Anger is something we direct mostly at people we don't like.
Depending on, that statement is true most of the time, but I would say that what happens more is the people who are closest to you are the ones that you get angry with the most, unless you're a serial anger.
There's serial
anger people, sure. They're people that are what we call rageaholics. That means almost everything is going to offend them. You see them. It's negativity all the time. They're always spouting negativity.
They get caught up in drama.
Quick thing
People
here,
like drama.
Forms of violence you were just talking about. Approximately 40% of women who are murdered in this country every year die at the hands of their boyfriends or their husbands.
Sad.
Yes.
Because of anger.
Yes. And the amazing thing is that person has that first feeling of justification, and then they go into the reality of what they've done. But see, there's a lot of people that always justify anger. They, you know, I deserve to be mad. You had it coming to you. But the reality is, it's all about them at that point.
So if you flip a light switch, some people have that control over you.
I remember your famous light switch thing from when you were in class. And
I feel like a little kid.
yeah. And here's the situation. If you know the light switch is there, then you're responsible for it.
Very
Frank,
good.
thanks for coming over this morning. Y'all do a lot more stuff down there where you work. We'll have to get
He
into
needs
that
his
on a
own
later
show.
date. We may have to get you your own show, Frank. If y'all have ever been mad, y'all, I've sent
About
people from
anything.
church there. Several folks from church have gone over there.
Done
Frank is
well.
our man. He is the best person I have ever seen. If you got an anger problem, this is the man you need to go see.
Or
I
if you
highly
don't
recommend
think
it.
you have an anger
I
problem,
graduated
go.
from there.
Calm down.
Please don't tell people that.